All right, we're going to wrap up the second part of self-entrepreneurialism and starting your own business and small businesses and stuff. The things that you need to know in order to start your own business, there's a lot of type of traits that you're going to need. A couple of the things is going to be the type of personality you have. If you're a very introvert type person, it just depends. That will probably make some decisions on the type of business that you would run. It doesn't mean that you can't run your own business. It just means that by introvert meaning you don't like to talk to a lot of people, things like that. It just maybe you start a business where you're maybe a programmer or something like that, really good at what you do. And that brings us to the next point, the know-how. You have to be really good at what you do, otherwise people won't want to hire you. And usually when you're starting your own business, it's because you're very, very good at something, and people want to hire you for that reason. And unfortunately, a lot of the reasons people don't start businesses is because of the money. You have to have money to start it. You have to have money to kind of carry you through until you're able to get jobs closed, to get paid on jobs, things like that. And those things take time. And so a lot of times you have to invest money into maybe a product or ingredients or whatever to run a business in order to resell or sell that particular product or service. So money is something that's definitely needed to run your own business. A couple traits I want you to go through. We're going to talk about it real quick, but a couple of personality traits that are needed for successful people. Don't worry about putting the land school stuff. That's just slides from a previous class. But here's some of the traits that are needed. Obviously, the ability to take action when needed. Procrastination is very detrimental to running your own business. If you wait for things to happen, a lot of times they'll pass you by. The ability to lead others, which is a very difficult part of running a business. Being able to delegate and hand on assignments and things like that to fellow co-workers to get the job done. You have to be able to lead them, which means you need to know where you're going, what you're doing. Dependability and trustworthy is huge for your credibility as a business owner. It makes people want to do business or not want to do business with you. Being a good organizer, that's obviously another great trait to have, being organized and getting things done on time, that type of stuff, again, makes people either want to do business with you or not want to do business with you. The ability to make good decisions. Usually that involves, buying a particular ingredient or hiring a particular person or choosing a particular system to perform, or the tools of your trade, making sure that you buy good tools in order to do your job. So there's a lot of decisions that have to be made, and you need to be able to make good ones. Bad ones obviously will hurt your business. A positive attitude is huge. Nobody wants to work with a person who's always down on himself, always negative. That's just not a good place to be, and people don't like to be around people like that. Honest and open, meaning just simply, being a good person, being honest about what you do. People like to work with people like that. People who are skeezers or hiding things or that type of stuff, they might make some money at first, but they won't be in business long. Eventually word's going to get out on them, and they won't have a good successful business. The ability to accomplish goals, and I would add that the ability to set goals also. But yeah, that's definitely one. The desire to succeed, simply wanting to do a good job, wanting to succeed, wanting your business to grow, always focused on the big picture. And then the willingness to take risk, obviously, are some of the personality traits. You're going to have to list a couple of those on the test, just to let you know. Some of the things that have to deal with know-how, meaning the knowledge. Self-employed people need to have the knowledge in various areas, such as finance, management, economics, marketing, accounting, and commercial law. Very important to know these areas. Myself, as a business person, didn't know a lot of that stuff, and eventually got sued for a copyright violation because of commercial law. It was something that I didn't understand a whole bunch, but someone explained it to me at a very pricey cost for me as a business person. So those are things that you have to know as a business person. So know those categories also. Those are areas of business that you're going to have to put know on the test as well. Business know-how usually is going to be, you can learn through coursework and on-the-job training. I went back to school to actually learn some things that I needed to know to add to my business. when I was running my own business. I went and attended some classes at LSU just to, number one, have a certification so that I could show people, yes, I am certified in what I'm doing, and also to pick up some new knowledge that maybe I didn't know. But on-the-job training is huge, and ability to learn as you go, adapt to the needs of your client base and your customers is huge. Most entrepreneurs have working experience working in other businesses. It's very hard to start a business if you've never worked inside of a business to understand the dynamics of how all that stuff works. A lot of times it's working with someone saying, wow, this is pretty cool, they're doing a good job, I'm learning some good stuff, maybe I can do it on my own. Then that's something that usually happens. There is an organization called the Small Business Administration, and that organization is the federal agency, encourages and assists and protects the interests of small businesses. And a lot of times they'll have grants, they'll have classes, they'll have things that will help business owners make decisions, and also maybe even have some ability for funds and some what they call mentorship, which helps young business owners make decisions, maybe gives them contacts within the business area that they're in. So there are definitely a lot of those in our area. There is a type of business called a franchise, and a franchise is simply a contract with a company to sell its goods and services in a certain area. And I'm going to use a Popeyes, for example, Popeyes Fried Chicken. Popeyes is a national company, but someone buys a franchise in a particular area, and then they're able to sell that product in that area. They didn't invent the product. They're not recreating the wheel. They're not going to add anything to the menu. It's all going to be part of the national franchise that says, this is what we have done. If you want to sell our products, yes, you can. You're going to, pay us a certain fee to initiate the contract, and then you're also going to pay us a certain amount every month, and we'll do things that way. We'll talk a little bit more about this in class, and we also have a brief assignment to do with this. But that's a very interesting business dynamic. The money to start a business, and an entrepreneur must have what they call capital, and capital is simply the money to start a business. Those words are interchangeable. Capital and money basically mean the same thing. It's the money needed to start a business, and then you also have to have the money to continue to run your business. The cost of going into business depends on the size of the business, obviously, the location, and some other factors. What type of business it is. Those are all things that you have to look at when starting a business. So the next thing we're going to do, and I think we're just going to focus on the first section here. I want you to go onto the internet, and I want you to find a local franchise that you can set up, and then what type of capital is going to be needed to start that franchise up. We're going to actually post this into Edmodo, not Land School. So I want you to go in. We're going to go on the internet. You're going to find a franchise that you would like to start. It may be a Smoothie King. It may be a McDonald's, and we'll talk about some of the different ones that people find, and we'll discuss it as a class. So let's go ahead and get that done, and thank you very much.